morning power up call. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a really fun one. This is a very simple piece of advice I have for you all today on today's daily lesson part of this, but it's one that has the potential to completely reshape the way you think about sales as it did for me. This is a powerful, powerful piece of advice. Now, before we dive in, I do have a little bit of housekeeping. You might have noticed I don't have any hair anymore. If you're in the Phoenix program, you know why. If not, you don't know why. That's okay. But I don't have any hair anymore for a minute, which is going to be fun. I've got some fun things in the work. The Phoenix program has been really, really, really fun. We had our kickoff call yesterday. We got some fun things in store for them moving forward to get those guys dialed in. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. Other housekeeping things, we've got some new changes to the platform. We've got some new updates, new content coming, so keep your eyes on announcements. If you guys aren't checking the announcements every day, you're going to be missing out on cool stuff. Like, yeah, sure, I post the links to these live calls. I post links to our upcoming review calls, but I also post new content when I created and added to the camp. That's where I notify you guys. I put a little announcements. Hey guys, I added this new video. Go check it out. You have to be keeping an eye on that if you don't want to miss out, because the stuff I share in these little pieces of content are specifically designed to solve the problems I see that you guys are running into. Like if there's a point from the boot camp that isn't quite making sense to a lot of people, or I see a lot of people struggling with a specific aspect of prospecting, for example, I'll go figure out a solution for you guys. I'll comb my giant database of knowledge inside my brain. I'll find things that are working, and I'll bring them to you and help you solve that problem. And I'll create a new video. I'll add it to the course. I'll add it to one of the other resource channels inside of like the courses, inside of the Learning Center. And I'll tell you about it. If you guys aren't checking that, you might be dealing with problems that have already been solved or explained in a way that will make them much, much simpler for you to solve. So keep an eye out on announcements, because that's going to be extremely important for you moving forward. Now, today we've covered most of the housekeeping, the little announcements and stuff like that. It's time to talk about the actual lesson. So yeah, at this point, a couple years ago, I was sitting around a dinner table with someone you may or may not have seen on a very popular Rumble channel. And we were talking about business. We were talking about things that we had learned over our years of doing different things. And he said to me, he said that the best advice he ever or the coolest thing he ever learned about sales. So he stole it from someone else. I don't know who it was from. It doesn't really matter. For me, it was from him. He said that the best thing he does in sales is he just asks what their problems are, and then he gives them solutions for their problems. That's all he does. So he talks to somebody, he gets to know them, he asks them what their problems are, what they're dealing with, and then he gives them solutions to those problems. He shows them the solution to those problems. That's essentially what I've been doing up until that point. But the way he put it was just so clear and concise that it triggered something inside my brain and allowed me over the next few sales opportunities that I had at the time to just absolutely crush them. Just because I would ask people what they were dealing with, what their problems were, where their goals were. And then they would tell me, and then I would just talk about how I could help them do it. And that's as simple as it has to be. Really, sales isn't that much more complicated than that. A lot of you guys are going in there thinking about something you want to sell to them instead of going in there trying to figure out what their problems are, so then you can offer things to help them solve their problems. If you can shift your mind to focus on that when it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing and copywriting and all that stuff, instead of trying to force something onto someone, you instead figure out what their pains and problems are, or bring up their pains and problems, and then just show them how the thing that you're selling can solve those. You're going to watch your sales massively increase. And sure, there's a lot of other things that go into it. There's a lot of other levers you can pull, but that is the main one. I see this in you guys' outreach, right? So many people go in there and they're so excited to sell Instagram captions or email sequence or landing page or ads or whatever. They have like something that they want to sell without really talking about how it's supposed to help them solve the brand actually solve their problems, right? They're not talking about the result or the real reason they're buying. They're just talking about the thing that they're trying to sell. You got to go in there, and if possible, you got to ask them what their problems are and then offer them solutions to their problems. And I'm telling you, that's one of the fastest ways to increase your sales. It was a simple 2-minute conversation I had with this person, and it absolutely changed my life. And I've shared you one tiny example, and I've shared this idea with you. And it's been probably about 2 minutes, and it has the potential to change the way you do your sales, right? So remember this. The best way to sell is just to ask them what their problems are, ask them what the things they're struggling with is, and then just give them a way to solve that in a way that makes sense, that is based on trust and is a good deal for them, but there's a way to actually solve those problems. And you'll watch your sales, your conversions skyrocket. It's really that simple. Now, some of you might hear this like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And some of you might think that it might be completely revolutionary, new idea. You've never thought of it like that before. Some of you may have thought about it like, 30% to that degree, maybe some of you as high as 80 or 90%. But honestly, if you can just simplify the way you think about this and look at all of your sales interactions through this filter, you're going to find a lot of ways that you can massively improve your sales just by finding out what people's problems are and then giving them a solution to those problems. It's really, really that simple. Guys, I'm going to keep it short. That's a simple lesson. It's a simple idea, but it's going to take you some time and some energy to apply it. So go out, spend that time and energy and apply it right now. It's part of your daily checklist every day. If you're in the Legion status or beyond, part of your daily checklist every single day is to analyze your current sales process and find ways to improve it. I've just given you one way to start analyzing. So take this time, go analyze your current sales process and see if there's any ways you can weave this into your outreach, weave this into your sales process so that you can increase your sales. My friends, it's been a good day. Got a lot of things in store for you guys. I will talk to you guys later today.